Hello everyone and welcome. Today I will be discussing intermittent fasting and its potential impact on weight loss. My presentation is titled The Impact of Intermittent Fasting on Weight Loss. My name is April Marquardt. I am a clinical registered dietitian. Let's begin with the current evidence surrounding this popular dietary approach. Intermittent fasting, or IF, isn't a specific diet, but rather a pattern of eating that cycles between periods of eating and fasting. It's gained significant popularity for its potential weight loss and health benefits. As its prevalence increases, it's crucial to understand the scientific evidence. The goal today is to provide an objective review of the current research on IF for weight loss. It's important to remember that IF may not be suitable for everyone and requires careful consideration in consultation with a registered dietitian. The primary objective of intermittent fasting is to induce a metabolic shift, moving the body from primarily using glucose for energy to using stored fat. Normally, when we consume carbohydrates, our bodies break them down into glucose, which is used for immediate energy. However, during a prolonged fasting period, glucose stores become depleted. This triggers a switch to using stored fat as an energy source. This process, known as metabolic switching, is a key aspect of how intermittent fasting works. This metabolic shift is facilitated by hormonal changes. When we eat, insulin levels rise to help transport glucose into cells. During fasting, insulin levels decrease, which allows the body to access stored fat. Conversely, glucagon, a hormone that signals the liver to release stored glucose, increases during fasting. Additionally, some studies suggest that growth hormone levels may increase, which can also contribute to fat breakdown and muscle preservation. The staging of fasting can be simplified. Initially, your body uses readily available glucose. As this is depleted, your body starts to break down glycogen, the stored form of glucose in the liver. After a longer period, typically 12 to 16 hours or more, your body begins to rely more heavily on fatty acids for energy. The objective of the metabolic shift is to promote fat loss, improve insulin sensitivity, and potentially trigger cellular repair process. However, it's crucial to understand that these metabolic changes are not unique to intermittent fasting. They can also occur with traditional calorie restriction. Intermittent fasting is simply one method of potentially achieving these changes by structuring eating patterns. There are several common types of intermittent fasting. First, we have restricted, often referred to as the 16-8 method, which involves fasting for 16 hours and eating during an 8-hour window. Other variations include 14-10 and 18-6. 14-10 is a good starting point for those new to IF to allow for an easier adjustment. The 16-8 has been noted as a more sustainable method, and 18-6 is known to be a bit more challenging to sustain, but provides with faster results. Next is the alternate day fasting, or ADF, where you alternate between fasting days and eating days. Modified ADF allows for a smaller number of calories on fasting days. The primary mechanism which intermittent fasting leads to weight loss is calorie restriction, also known as calorie deficit. By limiting the eating window or the number of eating days, individuals often consume fewer calories overall. However, simply adopting an IF pattern doesn't guarantee weight loss if overconsumption occurs during eating periods. IF has potential to influence hormonal changes, potentially leading to increased insulin sensitivity. Research on these effects is ongoing. Another proposed mechanism is metabolic switching, where the body shifts from using the glucose to using fatty acids for energy during fasting periods. The clinical significance of this is still being investigated. As a registered dietitian, I'm often asked about intermittent fasting and its impact on weight loss and heart health. This topic has been generating a lot of interest. The Cleveland Clinical article you see here, amongst other emerging research, suggests that intermittent fasting may offer some potential benefit for cardiovascular health. We're seeing indications of positive changes with weight, blood pressure, cholesterol, insulin sensitivity, all which are important factors. However, we must approach these findings with caution. While these initial results are promising, they are not completely conclusive. More long-term studies are needed to fully understand the effects of intermittent fasting on heart health, particularly in diverse populations and amongst people with underlying health conditions. From a nutrition education standpoint, it's vital to stress that intermittent fasting is not a magic bullet. It's simply one tool in a toolbox. It won't compensate for a poor diet. A balanced, nutrient-rich diet, regardless of the eating pattern, is fundamental for heart health. This means focusing on whole grains, fruit, vegetables, lean proteins, and healthy fats. While intermittent fasting can offer potential benefits, it's important to be aware of the potential side effects. These are often temporary, but can be managed. Let's look at hunger. This is perhaps the most common side effect, especially in the initial stages of IF. Your body's accustomed to regular meals, and it takes time to adjust to longer periods without food. Hunger pains can be intense, but they often subside as your body adapts. Remember to stay hydrated, as sometimes thirst can be mistaken for hunger. Irritability can be related to low blood sugar levels during the fasting period. When your blood sugar drops, it can affect your mood and make you feel more irritable. Managing this with adequate sleep can help mitigate this. Another common side effect is fatigue. Your body is adjusting to using stored energy, and this initially leads to feelings of tiredness or weak. This is often temporary and improves as your body becomes more efficient at using fat for fuel. Listen to your body and avoid strenuous activity during the initial adaptation period. Some individuals may experience headache during fasting. This can be caused by dehydration, low blood sugar, or even caffeine withdrawal. If you're reducing your coffee intake, stay well hydrated and gradually reduce the caffeine, and this will help prevent the headaches. Dehydration is crucial to remember that during fasting you're not consuming food, which usually provides hydration. Therefore, it's essential to drink plenty of water, unsweetened tea, or black coffee throughout the fasting period to avoid dehydration. Dehydration can exacerbate other side effects, such as the headache and fatigue. These side effects are often temporary and manageable. However, if you experience severe or persistent side effects, it's important to consult your doctor or a registered dietitian. They can help you determine if intermittent fasting is right for you and provide guidance on how to manage any side effects you may experience. It is important to acknowledge that intermittent fasting is not appropriate for everyone. Certain individuals face an increased risk and should avoid intermittent fasting. First, let's discuss pregnant and breastfeeding women. Adequate nutrition is essential during pregnancy and lactation for both the mother and the baby. Restricting calories or nutrients through IF can be harmful during these critical periods. Individuals with a history of eating disorders such as anorexia nervosa, bulimia, binge eating disorder should not engage in intermittent fasting. It can exacerbate disordered eating patterns and trigger relapses. People with certain medical conditions should also avoid IF or proceed with caution under the close supervision of a registered dietitian or their doctor. Children and adolescents under the age of 18 should avoid intermittent fasting. Individuals taking certain medications should also avoid intermittent fasting. It can affect the absorption metabolism of some of these medications, so it's crucial to discuss the medications you are taking with your doctor before considering starting IF to ensure there is no potential interactions. Intermittent fasting is not risk-free. If you fall into any of these categories or have concerns about your health, it's important to refrain from practicing IF without the guidance of a qualified registered dietitian or medical doctor. Sustainability is key for intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting should fit seamlessly into your lifestyle and a sustainable practice in the long term. With everyday life that can throw curveballs, social events, travel, unexpected work schedules, or stressful day can make IF difficult to maintain a strict fasting schedule. So IF can clash with an unpredictable lifestyle. Social and emotional factors can play a significant role. Many social gatherings revolve around food, so feeling excluded or having to explain your eating habits can be isolating. It's important to remember that IF is not a one-size-fits-all solution. Now let's talk about how to create a 16-8 intermittent fasting plan. The 16-8 method, as we've discussed, involves a 16-hour fasting period and an 8-hour eating window. The first step is to determine the eating window. This is the time of day when you will consume all your calories. Think about your daily schedule and lifestyle. When are you most likely to be hungry? When is it most convenient to eat? There is no one-size-fits-all answer. You can choose any 8-hour period that works for you. Here you see a visual representation of an 8-hour eating window. An example could be from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m., but it could be any 8-hour period. The flexibility is based on lifestyle. During the 16-hour fasting period, it's crucial to minimize calorie intake. This means you can have water, unsweetened tea, black coffee, and plain sparkling water. Avoid any foods sweetened with milk, cream, or artificial sweeteners. The goal is to allow your body to enter a fasted state and potentially experience the benefits of intermittent fasting. Now, let's look at a sample, a 16-8 plan, and what a day of eating might look like. Remember, this is just an example, and you can adjust it to your preference. Let's discuss a meal sample. At the start of your eating window, let's say 12 p.m., you may have a balanced lunch. This could be a salad with grilled chicken, whole grains, a variety of colorful vegetables. Around 3 o'clock, you could have a healthy snack. Think fruit with a handful of nuts, Greek yogurt, some options. Finally, at 6, you might have a nutritious dinner. This could be baked fish with roasted vegetables, quinoa. The key to a successful intermittent fasting plan is flexibility and listening to your body. Adjust your eating window and meal choices to fit your lifestyle and preference. Remember to focus on nutrient-dense foods during your eating window to ensure you're meeting your nutritional needs. As always, consult with a registered dietitian before starting any new dietary plan, especially if you have underlying health conditions. While intermittent fasting has gained considerable attention for its potential benefits, it's essential to approach this dietary pattern with caution. The scientific evidence regarding its long-term effects and safety is still evolving. Some studies suggest potential benefits for weight loss and certain health markers. It's crucial to acknowledge that these findings are not universally consistent and require further investigation. It's imperative that we prioritize evidence-based decision-making and remain critical of the claims surrounding intermittent fasting. Remember, a balanced and sustainable approach to nutrition tailored to your individual needs remains the cornerstone of good health. Thank you. Thank you for your attention. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.